My sister and I both married into wealthy families. She fell in love with a company president she'd grown up with, and they lived happily together. But 3 years after their wedding, she came to me drunk, sobbing in my arms. He has a mistress, and they even have a daughter together. That child is already several years old. He's been lying to me for years. I feel like such a fool. My eyes welled up with tears as I held her. Actually, Luke Watts is cheating too. He even spent a fortune buying that woman a luxury car. My sister and I cried all night, then made our decision. I'm done with that bastard. It's okay, we'll leave together. I don't want that man anymore either. We talked for hours and finally reached a conclusion. If we couldn't leave normally, we'd fake our deaths to escape. So what reason should we use to fake our deaths? Lena Witt was always slow to think, and after pondering for ages, she still couldn't come up with a good plan. I shook my head and pulled out the schedule Luke's assistant had sent me. Luke was good at making women happy. From our first day of marriage, he insisted his assistant send me his weekly schedule every week. Back then, he'd act cute with me, sweetly calling my name with eyes that seemed to sparkle like stars. He said he only felt secure when I was keeping tabs on him. I believed his sweet words, and we were happy together. Looking back now, he probably used the same tricks to deceive his mistress. But this worked perfectly for planning our escape. Luke's going to New York on business next week for a project with Booth Group. Tyler Booth should be going too. It's peak tourist season right now, so we'll say we want to go to the beach, then pretend to get swept away by the waves. Lena nodded enthusiastically beside me. Zoe, you're so smart. Then we can just travel everywhere. Those two jerks don't care about us anyway, so we might as well have fun. Lena voiced exactly what I was thinking. After finalizing the details, Lena and I put our plan into action. The night before departure, I called Luke. Luke, tomorrow Lena and I are planning to go to the beach for vacation. You and Tyler focus on your business trip. I'd practiced several times, my tone was perfectly natural. He'd never suspect anything. There was a pause on the other end, then a familiar female voice came through. Is this Zoe Witt? Mr. Watts is in the shower. Before she could finish, I hung up abruptly. Zara Perry, just back from abroad, Luke's childhood neighbor. Now she was a project manager at Luke's company. I'd seen her at the office a few times, and each time I could feel her inexplicable hostility toward me. What made me angriest was that Luke had bought her a luxury car too. Even though I already knew Luke was cheating, when faced with this reality, I couldn't help feeling heartbroken. Leaving him was definitely the right choice. Early the next morning, Lena and I boarded a flight to the island. On the beach, while Luke and the others hadn't started work yet, I deliberately video called Luke. I pointed the camera at Lena. Who was surfing? Tyler's next to you, right? Quick, get him to look at Lena. The moment I said Lena's name, Tyler leaned over. He was always serious, but whenever he saw Lena, his expression would unconsciously soften. Why did he have to put on this gentle act? I cursed Tyler silently but kept smiling. Suddenly, Tyler's face went pale. On the ocean surface, Lena, who had been waving at us from her surfboard, suddenly lost her balance and was instantly swallowed by a massive wave. Lena! With Tyler's heart-wrenching cry, I had already dropped my phone and was rushing toward the ocean. Luke immediately realized what I was about to do, but could only helplessly shout my name through the video. Too bad no one would ever answer them again. The last thing they saw was nothing but blue sky. I didn't see Luke and Tyler's messages again until a day later. Lena and I had already left for another island overnight. We were currently watching the news while applying face masks and drinking wine. On the news screen, Tyler looked pale and somber, while Luke's eyes were red-rimmed. They were sitting together in a car. The reporter spoke into the camera. Breaking news, renowned designer Zoe Witt and her sister Lena Witt have gone missing during their island vacation and are presumed dead. Their husbands, Luke Watts, CEO of Watts Group, and Tyler Booth, chairman of Booth Group, are now rushing to the island to personally join the search and rescue efforts. Lena curled her lip. All that urgency won't help. Since they dared to cheat, they should have expected we'd leave eventually. I nodded in agreement. With a swipe of my finger, the next news story began. Shocking! Tyler Booth, chairman of Booth Group, suspected of having an affair. His mistress has been seen flaunting their illegitimate child in public. This was a video from a gossip account. In the footage, Tyler stood with a young woman, and they were holding hands with a little girl. The video was posted a week ago, but the view count had suddenly skyrocketed. The top comment was about Lena and me being missing. Am I the only one who thinks this timing is suspicious? His illegitimate child gets exposed and suddenly his wife goes missing? Below were a string of replies. That makes total sense. The world of rich people is way too complicated. Are we already spreading rumors? These videos are all fake. Almost everyone was speculating about the situation, offering various theories, with occasional comments about beach safety tips mixed in. Seeing Lena's expression darken, I turned off my phone. She stared at the screen, then downed an entire glass of wine in one gulp, looking dejected. After a moment, she looked at me with watery eyes and said glumly, "Zoe, how did we end up like this?" I couldn't help but sigh, gently stroking her head. Maybe it's just the nature of men. Lena fell silent for a few seconds, then buried her head in my arms. Zoe, Tyler is such a good actor. Even now, I still feel a little heartbroken. I actually thought he truly loved me. Her voice was muffled, making my heart ache for her. Remembering how Zara had answered when I called Luke that day, I felt even more disgusted with these two scumbags. Lena, men aren't worth our tears. Let's just enjoy our vacation from now on. The money I've made from my designs over the years is enough for us to live happily for 30 years. Are you really going to let one man ruin your mood? I knew Lena's personality well. She'd always loved money since childhood. But back then, she chose to be with Tyler when he was kicked out of his family and left with nothing. During their hardest times, they only ate 2 meals a day, both consisting of instant noodles. But Lena never complained. Later, Tyler founded Booth Group and gradually devoured his father's business empire. He finally achieved his goal. After a few peaceful years, a mother and daughter suddenly appeared out of nowhere. It was like ripping Lena's heart out and stomping on it. But fortunately, both Lena and I had the means to walk away. In the days that followed, we traveled everywhere, seemingly forgetting all our troubles. Occasionally, we'd catch news reports showing that Luke and Tyler were still searching for us. From the initial search and rescue efforts to later scouring the globe, neither of them seemed ready to give up. They even announced they wouldn't stop looking until they found us. This wasn't what I had originally expected. They already had new lovers, they should have given up by now. What was this all about?